respond and shut me down. But I think the arguments are so strong. They're so potent. It's like, you know what it is? It's like you know when you break up the weed and you just keep the keys? Those are my arguments. My argument on Keith, pure Keith level.
They can't figure out how to open this.
If we're going to compare it to like weed. And I'm told I have to lose arguments in order to speak to them.
Why do you think the Ottoman Empire banned, bells, in the Muslim faith? Like, why would they ban bells? Because I see Islam as being like a way to essentially negate dopamine in order to maintain the concept of Allah. And so, like, by covering women, by not having bells, by doing the opposite of what Christians do, they, create their simulation or their in-group. So I'm just saying that, the bell is mystical. And I mean, they may say you can't ring bells, but like by doing that, that's like putting a prohibition on it. And thus it makes it even more intoxicating and exciting to, revolt against the government. And ring a bell. Hello? And many people ask me regularly, what's the truth of the earth? And do you know do you know about death and birth? And I just say that the truth of the earth and the truth about death and birth really is always the NOW. And backwards that spells one, not O-N-E, but W-O-N. And that's the truth of the earth and about birth and death. And silence is ultimately what you're left with at the end of the day. Hello? And I want to thank you, Barf.
I love you, babe. Love you, babe. Hurry up, back.
He loves his babe. That's love. That's love.
I love you, babes.
Okay, we were doing what's called a book reading here. I call it meditation, but this is the number 17. Oh, this is an interesting question for you. Repentant Cain would have been greater.
My prescription was only $8, and it went down $8.84. Wow, look at that. That's a whole lot of. I don't know. I must have done something. Yeah, right. Sorry about that.
Repentant Cain would have been greater than Abel. It is lawful pride satisfied which has the right to humiliate itself. I believe because I know why and how one must believe. I believe because I love and fear no more. Love, sublime Redeemer and sublime Restorer, thou who makest so much happiness, with so many tortures, thou who didst sacrifice blood and tears, thou who art virtue itself, and the reward of virtue, force of resignation, belief of obedience, joy of sorrow, life of death, hail, salutation, and glory to thee. If intelligence is a lamp, thou art its flame. If it is right, thou art duty. If it is nobility, thou art happiness. Love, full of pride and modesty in thy mysteries, divine love, hidden love, love insensate and sublime, Titan, who takest heaven in both hands and forcest it to earth, final and ineffable secret of Christian widowhood, love eternal, love infinite, ideal which would suffice to create worlds, love, love, blessing and glory to thee, glory to the intelligences which veil themselves that they may not offend weak eyes, glory to right which transforms itself wholly into duty and which becomes devotion. To the widowed souls who love and burn up without being loved, to those who suffer and make none other suffer, to those who forgive the ungrateful, to those who love their enemies, oh, happy evermore, happy beyond all are those who embrace poverty, who have drained themselves to the dregs to give. Happy are the souls who forever make thy peace. Happy the pure and the simple hearts that never think themselves better than others. Humanity, my mother. Humanity, daughter and mother of God. Humanity, conceived without sin. Universal Church. Mary. Happy is he who has dared all to know thee and to understand thee, and who is ready to suffer all once more in order to serve thee and to love thee.
Leonardus, you want to know my type? Danny's my type. 100%.
I love Johnny.
Oh my God. So my type. I'm not even joking.
I love her so much.
Yeah, he's fucking great.
Danny, welcome to the Muslims versus the Megatron of Catholicism. Megatron is saying you remind him of Mary, that sweet, blissful, beautiful, happy innocence.
Okay, that's Metatron with a T.
No. We're talking to Megatron in another room, Todd.
Oh, are you? Okay. Oh, okay. It's the cartoon. I'm sorry.
Metatron is the angel.
Yeah. Sorry. That's what it looked like at first. Because you're doing Muslim, and then you had Megatron, but you'd be Metatron, not Megatron.
No. We got Megatron, the Barth of Catholicism, in another room leading a fight. He has already excommunicated 60 heretics today.
I don't fully understand, but okay. Archangel Metatron.
Okay, I just removed Todd from the room because there's just too much background noise there to deal with right now. We're trying to have a soft, quiet space.
So soft.
Primo is here. By the way, I also have Issa the Cunt show going on in the Issa Watermelon House. Issa okay to do that? Some people get upset. They're like, why do you have so many phones? Why do you have so many Clubhouse accounts? And I just say, why do you have so many questions? You know, like, why do I make you so angry? What is it about me? Is it me personally? Like, is it my life? Is it my communication style? Is it my aesthetic? Is it my smell?
it's your ability to come in and hypnotize people, and a lot of people get very jealous because they can't do that. They don't, even if they study, they're not talented enough to know how to do it. When they get very upset, they get very jealous, and they get very,
Jealousy.
Yeah.
Anger. Envy.
Envy.
It is envy.
What's the opposite of envy, love?
Lust.
The opposite of the opposite of love is apathy. It's not hate. The opposite of envy.
No, envy is lust.
Envy is not lust. Envy is
The
Yeah.
opposite.
the
No.
opposite of envy is not lust. Envy is
Yes,
like
it is.
no.
To be fulfillment. The opposite could be fulfilled,
Fulfillment, exactly.
We got the coon crate
Yeah,
here.
that's lust.
How is fulfillment lust?
No. You
Lust
said
is a
the
negation.
opposite.
Yeah, the opposite.
The opposite of envy.
Of envy.
It's acceptance.
I said love. I said love because envy is like covetousness.
Yes, actually, you're right.
And so
It could be
if
that.
you want to love your neighbor, you would not practice envy, you would practice love. I mean, anyways, you get the point. Anyways,
love is acceptance.
well, look at
You need to look this up because I
What are
think
they
I know
saying?
I'm right.
Generosity.
the problem with the word apathy is if you break it down, it's apathy, a path. So people use apathy always in a negative light, and I would challenge that assumption. Hello?
Hello? I think goodwill would be perhaps the most apt antonym for envy.
Oh, we got Rubenchik here. Rubenchik loves to open rooms and just sit there cool as a clam, letting people just like destroy themselves with their narrative. That's the Rubenchik shtick.
Oh, Ruben. Yeah, he's so cool. He's so kind.
See, if you let people talk enough, ultimately they become the hypocrite. I've realized that. Like at a bar, I'm sitting there talking, and after so many years of talking, I said to this, F word. I was like, you know what? I was like, eventually, you just become a hypocrite if you just keep talking long enough. And he was like, exactly, bitch. And I was like, yep, a hypocrite. So, this is the church of butter and cup. Your life is what you put inside your cup. I hope it's sweet like butter. Not many people view fat as being sweet, but when I drink whole milk, it's sweet to me. Delicious. Do you live your life with envy? Do you wish you were as good as the Megatron, as good as Dr. Good himself? Are you jealous that his communication style is efficacious and his knowledge of epistemology and ontology is supreme? Just can't beat him, so might as well join him. That's what I say. Oh, we have a surprise guest star. Welcome to the show, the world famous Abby Eba, destroyer of worlds. Hello, Abby. I think Abby has waged a very successful military campaign against the far right. Ultra derecha.
Why would you say that?
She deserves a moderator.
You've destroyed the world for these people. And look, Brother Keegan is here. He was so upset with me. You were lying about Brad. You never called the police. Well, brother, don't you know sometimes just putting it out there is good enough? And that's really what a mind virus is.
No, do not turn. You're shifting. You're turning the tables. You're creating revisionist history. You said to everyone you lied. You're not a man of honor.
I will not be insulted on my stage. I'm no liar, sir. I've told you completely what I've done. Just put it out there on X. We won't play these childish games with Keegan. Get back to work. Get back to the auto shop. So, Abby, you are in the Church of Butter and Cup. I hope your cup is always sweet, overflowing with joy, and, you know,
And you were right. The opposite of is not lust. I was wrong. It's charity.
charity. That's the
Generosity,
word.
like Danny said.
Charity, yeah, charity, generosity, yeah, stuff like that.
Goodwill, admiration.
Charity
Yeah,
is
that's
the magic.
opposite. Yeah. I'm thinking lust because I saw Danny came to the room, and that's all I could think of is the word lust, and I couldn't get my just
Danny is such a crush on you.
whatever. I'm over it.
She's just real. That's why I like real people. Abby too.
All right, we're going to continue this blessed sacred meditation. This is page 66. The gospel says that at the death of the Savior, the veil of the temple was rent, because that death manifested the triumph of devotion, the miracle of charity, the power of God in man, divine humanity, the human and human divinity, the highest and most sublime of arcana, the last word of all initiations. But the Savior knew that at first men would not understand him, and he said, "You will not be able to bear at present the full light of my doctrine. But when the Spirit of truth shall manifest himself, he will teach you all truth, and he will cause you to understand the sense of what I have said unto you." Now, the Spirit of truth is the spirit of science and intelligence, the spirit of force and of counsel. It is that spirit which solemnly manifested itself in the Roman Church when it declared in the 4 articles of its decree on the 12th of December, 1845, first degree, that if faith is superior to reason, reason ought to endorse the inspirations of faith. Second degree, that faith and science have each their separate domain, and that the one should not usurp the functions of the other. Third degree, that it is proper for faith and grace not to weaken, but on the contrary to strengthen and develop reason. Fourth degree, that the concourse of reason, which examines not the decisions of faith, but the natural and rational bases of the authority which decides them, far from injuring faith, can only be useful to it. In other words, that a faith perfectly reasonable in its principles should not fear, but should, on the contrary, desire the sincere examination of reason. Such a decree is the accomplishment of a complete religious revolution. It is the inauguration of the reign of the Holy Ghost upon the earth. What is the Holy Ghost, Earth? This is a mystery to me.
You want an Old Testament or a New Testament explanation?
Let's go with the new.
The Holy Spirit is the love that spirates from the Father and the Son. So once the Father and the Son, the two knowers, know it and they reveal it through the Spirit. So in Genesis 1:1 and 1:2, he's going to say, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Right? That's the Word. The Word is creating. the earth was formless and deep, as the Spirit of God hovered over. I think he hovers over the deep or something like that. I think I botched that one, but yeah. So you see Father, Son, and Holy Spirit right in the beginning there. That's the reason why John, the prologue for John 1:1 is in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, because the Word is God. The Word became flesh and dwelt among us. In other words, the Logos, the eternal God, became a man and lived like a man among us. He was identified. He was numbered with the transgressors. Yo, that's how I know sometimes, bro. Not for nothing, Smiler, but I think your boy, honestly, man, and I love that he does it too. I think he listens into our conversations sometimes to get some input, to get some influence. Like, yo, we had a good ass run for like a good month, and when he was debating the Jake the Italian metaphysician, the Italian Muslim metaphysician, and he brought up that 2946, and I've heard him say he was identified, numbered with the transgressors. That I'm the only nigga out here saying shit like that. He said it. I'm thinking to myself like, yo, he must have heard me, bro. He must have heard me. Because that's some straight up fucking what's the guy's name again? The one that I gave you? Billy Graham? Oh shit. I get on my Billy Graham. It's a rap. Who do they say that I am? He said, no, Peter. I don't care what they say. What do you say? Who do you say that I am? God, the Christ, the Son of the living God. Peter, you did well, Peter. But those weren't your thoughts. Those thoughts came from God. It was God who revealed it to you. I love the Billy Graham, man. You got to listen to that. Listen, you have, Mr. Universe, you have to listen to Who is Jesus? By Billy Graham in 1973. Is it 73 or 77? I forget. You might be 77. Hey, guys, enough. You're going to hurt each other. And stop jumping on the couch with the iPad on the thing. Put it over there, the iPad.
Hello?
Hello?
I heard you say something interesting once. I think I heard you say that Jesus freed the Gnostics. Or Jesus frees the Gnostics.
I never said that. Did I say that? I think I heard you say that.
I thought I heard you say it one time. Oh, no, you plugged a link. You put a link up, and it was some Gnostic book or something. But it said something in there that Jesus even frees the Gnostics. And I was like, does that mean because, like, basically doing duality versus non-duality? So, like, if you're always in the non-dual state, basically you're, like, addicted to being in union with God. And that can ultimately, it has to be a fine balance. You know, too much is too much, because then you neglect the objective material world, and your garbage doesn't get taken out and your dishes don't get washed. Hello?
Yes. Jesus was the duality in narcissism. He makes the model complex in order for our realization for material.
The only religion that has ever been truly dualistic with and has kept to it is Zoroastrianism.
Yes.
It's the truest dualistic when it talks about evil. But you see, when I asked Mr. Mikael, aka Cynic, aka Lumi, I asked him once, and it made him feel really uncomfortable. I said, "What is the distinction? Or what are the commonalities of the devil and Christ?" And he kind of shelled up. He kind of thought I was trolling. And I'm like, no. I'm like, do you not realize that this is the book of Job? This is Zechariah chapter 3. This is like, there's always going to, it's because the Christian religion is not dualistic. It's not about good and evil.
No, it's not.
It's not. And when you compare, right, when we have the devil, Satan, or should I say Lucifer, right, and Jesus, right, he's saying to you almost like, just as good as Jesus is, he is that representation also of the bad. And you know what? Some people are just not comfortable with that.
So,
and that's the reason why you ever look in the Vatican and they have that big, huge thing, the black thing that looks like, like they're in they looks like they're in hell or something. That big, huge black. You'll see it. It's in the Vatican. It's in one of their newest cathedrals or whatever, and it looks like this hell like going on in the background, right? Because that's what it. That's what it represents. He is the light of justice, but he's also, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the one that he knows no one's name, the fire in his eyes, the tongue as sharp as a sword. He's dripped in blood. Like, he's not playing.
Ahura Mazda and Ahriman, where like one is a supreme being, right? That which is truth, light, versus Ahriman, which is in who all evil is sourced, right? And this duality solves the problem of evil, basically. One can posit evil to Ahriman and posit all goodness to the Ahura Mazda. It's monotheistic and yet dualistic in its model. I think it's brilliant.
Well, there's a saying in Zen that I came from brilliance and I return to brilliance. So, we hope that every man and every woman can come to the realization that they themselves are a star. And Clown House is the microcosm of the macrocosm, because we are all on a stage and we are all stars. And when you understand, the opportunity cost of being here versus being outside in the sun, taking a jog through the park and looking at the little squirrels saying, "Give me a peanut." Or you see a little bunny rabbit like Abby run around, shocked when you say, "Where's the coupons?" And she goes, "I don't have any coupons." So the purpose of the Church of Buttercup is not Reese's. It's not chocolate, and it's not even peanut butter. It's you who are the cup. And what you put inside of yourself every day is very important, because everyone likes to cook in butter. Oh, Nora Bandura is here. Maybe we can fill up Nora with some more light today instead of all the darkness of the far right and her lover Nora and Diego. Little sexual conflict there still. Never really quite had sex. I never had sex with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. Well, everybody, you are now witnessing the most exciting room on Clown House. The Muslims versus the Megatron of Catholicism. Megatron, if you had one message to all the Muslims on the whole planet Earth right now, what would you want all the Muslim brains across the entire planet to know? Almighty Megatron.
Jesus will never be a Muslim.
Jesus will never be a Muslim.
Oh, Jesus.
Lord Jesus, King, Son of the Father, will never, ever, ever be a Muslim. But you got respect for Islam, right? Because it is a world religion, and that really is a monolith. And there are three major monoliths, but one of the three...
I do not respect any religion who desecrates Christ. So they're going to hell. I really want to tell them they're going to fucking hell for desecrating Christ and for building on the Temple Mount. Mm-hmm. That's really what I want to tell. That's really what I say to them on a daily basis. Like, your Umar, the Jew, cursed you guys. He cursed your religion. Because if he knew the scriptures, he would have read 2 Thessalonians chapter 1 through 12, and it's exactly who the man of perdition is. He sets himself up in the temple of God, saying that he is God. That's exactly what Islam did with Muhammad. They're saying that his words in that book is God. Well, and then they built on the Temple Mount. So I wish them all the best. I really do. I wish them all the best, but all of the shortcomings, all of the things that are happening to them are going to continue to happen to them, because as long as they think that Jesus is going to come back, to break the cross, kill the pig, ask the trees where the Jews are hiding, as long as they keep this in their doctrine, they're going to hell.
Okay. So thanks for that, Almighty Megatron. We do have some Muslims in the audience, and I was looking at what Nora Bandora has in her profile, and it's very beautiful and wonderful. And I would just say that I find that to be, most expeditious or expedited. The thing is, you don't want to wait in a long line with no coupons. If you have to wait in a long line, well, you better have some coupons. And so in the Church of Buttercup, we're very much focused on what we listen to and what we say. And if we have to talk slowly because we don't want to rush, well, that's okay. The truth of the earth from your birth to your death. With all the knowledge of the earth and your birth and your death. The truth of the earth. With no good book, and if you don't even go to the gym and you don't stretch, well, you're going to have lower back pain. And that's a truth that you can't get out from under without having to do the work of stretching and breathing. Not many Christians or Muslims are going to do a class on breathing, but they should, because breathing is the truth of the earth. Because if you stop breathing, there will be no more earth. There will be no more birth, just your death. And when you're deaf, it doesn't just mean you can't hear nothing. It really means that you can't ever hear anything ever again because you've experienced death. And that's the truth of the earth. Don't die. Now you are alive, but you want to stay alive for as long as you can to experience the truth of the earth all the time because it's beautiful and it's lovely and it's intelligent. Snot Smiler, welcome to the Muslims versus the Megatron of Catholicism. What is your truth, Dr. Schomburg?
What is truth?
No, what is your truth? For example, half this room is just my other cell phones, but it gives the illusion that there's more people here than there truly is when it's just me multiplied multiple times over. And I just want to point out the truth that Isa is a cunt in another room, but the Lord here is not Isa, but it gives the feeling that Isa is here. And the funny thing about Isa is she has conditioned so many people on this app with this stupid PTR. But the truth is, doesn't matter how many times you condition someone, if you are a cunt, it won't really matter. You can condition your other people with cunt philosophy. But the truth for the earth is that a cunt is a cunt. And you gotta do your cunt. And you gotta clean it. And I think a lot of cunts out there, they're always talking about this pH level. And we all know, what is the perfect pH number? Is it 4? Anyways. It's neither here nor there. Oh, 7, that's right. 7. And if you're a 4, are you a base or are you an acid?
Acid.
You're an acid. So I guess the point is you don't want an acidic cunt and you don't want a basic cunt. You want to maintain that perfect 7. Now, I'm willing to go out with a 7. But if I can get to an 8 or a 9, oy vey, or a 10. 10 is truly the most perfect number because it represents the universe. And that universe can be represented by the Holy Kabbalah. Not many Christians or Jews or Catholics or Muslims will ever admit that the philosophy of the Kabbalah is actually the totality of all the religions mixed into one bubblegum that you can put in your mouth and chew like a curd. Now, if you want to become like a cow and say moo, that's okay, because moo is a 3-letter word and mo is a 2-letter word. And Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon that magical man. Welcome, Mr. Wolfie. The Muslims versus the Megatron, the final battle. Megatron, what's the second message you'd like all the Muslims on planet Earth to know, other than that Jesus will never become a Muslim?
Jesus will never be a Muslim. No matter how many fake files are in this room.
No, you've already said that. We don't want to be redundant. We want a new revelation.
I'm just repeating what you said. All right, I'm sorry. Let me start over. If any Muslim condemns the what's this guy's name again? The conspiracy now with the files. What was his name again?
Epstein.
Everyone's talking about it. The state. What is it called again? What is it called?
Wait,
again?
what are you asking?
Who's the guy that has this the prostitution ring? What's his name?
Jeffrey Epstein.
Epstein. So if any Muslim condemns Epstein, they are literally condemning their prophet. That's it.
Could you repeat that again for us, Megatron?
If they think the Epstein thing is bad, then then they're condemning Muhammad. Because how could they think that what he did was bad, but then are okay defending that their morality is for all time, but then in the same sentence contradict themselves and say, well, that was then and this is now. Well, that doesn't work. Then the morality, so then it does change. No, it doesn't change. And you're like, wait. Okay, so will you marry off your daughter when she's 9?
Well, Megatron.
Think of the conversation. Think of the conversation we're having it for Muslims.
This is a little bit like people who think that we have to increase spending with education or with Medicare, Medicaid. We can't spend our way out of this problem. We have to grow our way out of this problem. And until individuals can admit that, growth or more moral understanding or knowledge of the law, unless people are willing to admit that they're fools, they'll never grow out of this dilemma. And, look at Epstein. He's 99.99%, gone, dead and buried, probably cremated. Who knows? And, Bill Gates is giggling on TV and he's still talking about mass vaccination. Some people are obsessed with certain topics and categories. For some people, the vaccine is the sexiest thing in the world to them because they know governments will continue to borrow and spend to manufacture them. And it is a national geostrategic security issue because, we are still investing in biolabs at scale and researching chemical, biological, warfare. And it's madness. But it's neither here nor there in the Church of Buttercup. I see we have Caleb in the audience. And, Buttercup and Emrose were in the room earlier. And I just got to say, Emrose wants all of us to be terrified. She said it yesterday. She said, you should all be terrified. We should all be terrified. Because if they can do this to the Palestinians, they can do this to us. And that type of fear-mongering is not based in wisdom, knowledge, understanding, or any type of comprehension at all with regards to God. And that's why they keep saying nonstop their mantra is, this is not a religious war. They have to keep repeating that to themselves because it is a confirmation bias of their position. And so, I like you, Barth, because you want to talk about the GOD. And that's great. And education is great, but fear-mongering and political propaganda and distorting facts and causing emotional disturbances by kicking over hornets' nests, it's just going to take, a highly vaccinated, double-boosted, triple-vaxxed, liberal, leftist, socialist, communist, atheist to basically do their shtick, which is performative artwork. And to kick over hornet's nest and scream like a banshee. Hello? Hello? Sheikh, are you in Palestine on your connecting flight to Iran?
Yeah, just a little bit over turbulence over here in Pakistan. They're celebrating 4th of July during this time of the year.
Too bad. I hear that they Barth had a great room earlier about Aisha's box and whether or not she served in the military conquest campaigns. Barth, did you ever come to any resolution whether or not Aisha was a boy involved in a pedophilic homosexual relationship with Muhammad?
They'd rather defend their prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and and call him they rather call him a child abuser of women than call him a homosexual. I'm trying to give them outs. I even asked ChatGPT. And you know what ChatGPT said to me? Because it knows me so well. I'm going to tell you what it said to me, right? And it said, why you might feel this way, Barth. Let's explore that rationally. Discomfort with the age reports 6 or 9 narrations in Bukhari and Muslim. The psychological difficulty accepting the narrative. Wanting a clear alternative explanation. That explicit makes sense emotionally, Bart. Historically, if you want strong arguments in this debate, you need defensible grounding, and we don't have it. So it's telling me, I understand why you're emotional, why you want to find an out, why you feel the need to try this, to go down this road of trying to eliminate a female from this action so that it looks like he has a little sense of dignity in saying that he wouldn't fuck a 9-year-old girl. Like, I want that. I want that for him. I'd rather say he was in his desires than actually be that fucking devil, garbage human being. You understand? Like, he can reconcile the boy thing. We can reconcile the boy thing. Right? Her being a girl, I'm not so sure if any man can reconcile that. You know, that boy would have grew up and fucked Muhammad. You get what I'm saying? That boy would have grew up and said, blow me, motherfucker, and you would have done it. It's not the same. It's not.
Point of order, moderator.
Taking advantage of a girl that is helpless.
Point of order, moderator.
I'm just stuck. I want to reconcile. I want clarity.
I think they destroyed the original Quran, and now we don't know this information. Otherwise, we would have seen the same exact rights Aisha had with other women in modern days.
You know, I like to say, you know, are you willing to die on this hill? Because a lot of people just want to do redundancies and repetitions. And that's cool if it's successful. You know, if you've got a shtick that people have become hypnotized with, well, then you found some type of formula for essentially getting people to return. And a return customer is the basis of a good business. You can't launch a new business every day and rebrand. It's got to be consistent. And I think Megatron has always preached consistency as the root of success. And Narjas here is saying there's so much hate, but I would say Narjas is technically spending a lot of time in hate rooms. This isn't a hate room in any way, shape, or form. This is the final battle. I hope that this room will once and for all eliminate all future debates and conversations. For Catholics and Christians, Jews and Hindus, Buddhists and Muslims, I hope that this room will satisfy all receipts and demands and debts, and we can pay it all off with a public note instrument. That instrument might be Freemasonry, ladies and gentlemen, because that's a brotherhood where Muslims, Jews, and Catholics, guess what, come together, but they have to declare a one God. And it's not just that they declare they believe in a God, but they declare their faith in the one G-O-D. Point of order, moderator.
But the other thing too is men
Hello.
of different faiths
Point of
come
order,
together in
moderator.
prison.
Shake, hold on a second. Narja is speaking, and she's requested a point of order.
Thank you.
Not Christian or Jew or Muslim. Not Hindu, Buddhist, Sufi, or Zen. Not any religion or cultural system. I am not from the East nor from the West. I am not from the ocean or from the ground. I am not natural or ethereal. I am not composed of any elements at all. I do not exist. I am not an entity in this world or of the next. I did not descend from Adam or Eve or any origin story. My place is the placeless, a trace of the traceless. I am neither body nor soul. I belong to the beloved. I have seen the two worlds, only as one. And that one call to and know the first, the last, the outer, the inner, only that breath, the breathing human being. That's what I am. Point of order, moderator.
Okay, do we have a Muslim to respond? If you want to get modded to kick this kafir to the goo, you can do that if that'll make you feel fulfilled in your faith.
Can I respond from the Muslim
Yeah,
perspective?
go ahead.
This is the utmost interesting topic. Not only do men come together of different faiths in Freemasonry, but different men of different faiths come together in prison.
Okay. We also have Joanna. Welcome, Joanna, to the stage. You know, I feel like Joanna and our great Megatron here are like cousins or brothers and sisters. You two sound like you're from the same family. That's not true, right, Joanna?
Oh, who else?
I said you and Barth sound like you're from the same family.
Yeah, we live next door. I know Megatron in real life.
Wow.
What do they call it? IRL?
Small
You
world.
can hear it?
Small world.
Well, it's a small world. Here it is. Right here.
Well, this is going to be the last and final room of all time for all religious debates here on the app. It's the final battle in the Church of Buttercup. We hope to once and for all satisfy all curiosity, all demands, all exceptions to the debate, the never-ending, endless debate that Barth and others have been creating here day after day. And today, Barth admitted that he was so proud because he kicked 60 Muslims out of his room. It made him feel great, like he was cleaning up the streets or something.
Like deportation.
Is Barth an ICE agent? It's all making sense now. He's a clubhouse ICE agent. Oh no, I've got to alert the liberals. They're putting together a room. Oh my God. They're not illegals. They're trying to become legal. It's the law.
I know 4 people who got deported already.
Oh my God. You know, well, you know what's his face on here, right?
Yeah.
He claims that he got deported to Mexico. I think he's full of shit. He's fucking.
What's his face?
No, I think it's true. I have some kind of evidence.
Oh, really?
I'm afraid to say it.
Who is it?
We don't have to say his name.
All right, I'll write it in the chat.
Diego?
No.
Okay, write it and delete it after.
I'm drawing a blank. It'll come to me.
I describe.
So I want to thank everybody
okay.
coming.
You can delete it. I don't know this guy.
Yeah, Hermes. So I want to thank everybody for coming. This is a meditation room because Clubhouse is nothing but toxicity. So let's maintain our equilibrium.
Point of order, moderator.
Exactly. Robert's rules.
Really?
Yeah, look up Robert's rules.
Oh, I thought you meant Robert.
Oh, Robert Taylor. He's casting me in movies. He's a horrible director producer. His movies are really shitty. I'm like, for a guy who loves movies, he loves movies so much, but he can't put together anything. He can't even write. It's like, see, the thing is, you're a good writer if you're a good reader. It turns out that reading and writing are like the same thing. And if you read somebody who's really well written, well, that makes you a good writer if you read their book. And I've been reading a lot of good books.
I wrote 3 books. They're on Amazon. Can I get?
Yeah, I know. You're awesome. Put the link in the chat again. You did a great job with your business there.
Oh, yeah. I got another 200 this month.
You made $200?
Yeah, but I want to go bigger. I want to get it out there to, like, I wrote to Oprah. But they never read their mail, do they?
No, they're not going to publish you unless they got like an interest or like you're involved in their pedo ring or something. Yeah, maybe you should start a cult. And
I love cults.
Yeah, not many people really think about it, but if you think about it, you could claim that everything is. You could claim that everything is a cult.
I do. I think about cults all the time.
Because a call and a T, you're just calling people into categories. That's really all cults are. And so if you claim that you're a cult deprogrammer, well, guess what? You run a cult of cult deprogramming. And so I've been reading about how to decondition people from very hardcore cults because there's a lot of really crazy cults out there in the Hindu faith, in the Jewish faith. And many of these people are trapped and they can't get out. They've got no other options. They can't operate in a secular world. They don't know how to go to the grocery store and save money with coupons. They don't know how to create a Craigslist account.
That's what I'm here for. That's why I wrote books, you know.
You wrote a book, I'll read it.
Yeah, about how to save coupons in Germany, even though we don't have coupons.
Mm-hmm. You know, my daughter saves people from cults. That's what she does since she loves
really?
Cult. Yeah.
Oh, that's much more interesting, honey. For me, it's just to save a few cents on a grocery.
Mm-hmm.
The coupon cult. Yeah, my daughter saves people. It's called Healing from a Cult. Healing from Cults. She has a business. She has a website. She has a YouTube. She has a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
That's lovely.
Fatima.
And she hypnotizes people to get them deprogrammed. She's a hypnotherapist like you. Like
Blue.
Like John Kitover? Universe.
Blue, welcome to the room, Blue.
Hey, Blue. True Blue, baby, I love you.
Blue Moon. Let's think about songs that have the word blue in it.
Blue balls.
Oh, good. Blue suede shoes.
Blue suede shoes. I love blue velvet. Blue velvet.
Zalani, welcome to the room, Zalani.
You're so bad.
Zalani is a trans. Look out, everybody. We have a they, them on stage.
Is that for real?
Sure. 1 for the money, 2 for the show.
3 to get ready and 4 to go. Okay, everybody. Again, you're in the final battle. There will be no more battles after the final battle. That's what makes it the final battle. We're going all in. We're going all in. Mark the date. Today's the final battle, February 16th, 2026. This is the final battle, the battle of all battles. We will once and for all determine whether or not God exists, number 1. And number 2, we will solve the mystery of all faiths and world religions. And we will ultimately get to the truth through the final battle. We're going to use AI. We're going to use comedy. We're going to use art. We're going to use genius and intelligence and love to get to the final solution. And then we're going to print it out. And we're going to
the 3-step rule.
We're going to print it out and put it on the wall with a little thumbtack. And we're going to timestamp it with a stamp and sign it. And that'll be it. And there'll be no longer a need to ever spend another minute on this app. Unless it's a roast and we're making fun of people, of course. But This will be the final battle between all the world's Catholics, all the Jews throughout the world, and all the Hindus, the billion-plus Hindus on the planet, and the 800 million Buddhists, and the 1.1 billion Muslims from Indonesia to Saudi Arabia, to Iran and Oman, to Yemen, and even to Vancouver and Toronto. We give you the final battle. In the left corner, we have a Muslim. In the right corner, we've got a Jew. In the northeast corner, we got a Christian Catholic. And in the northwest corner, we got a Buddhist. In the southwest corner, we got a Hindu. And in the center, we have the final battle. Arm yourselves and prepare for battle. Grab your Bibles, grab your Qurans, grab your Bhagavad Gitas, and bring your best quotes and best verses in this theological, never-ending, ontological, etymological debate. This ontological, eschatological, theological, universal debate about words, endless definitions about the debates on the definitions of words. Like, for example, what does the word mean with a capital W? A word, the word. We're still debating words, and we already know that the capital W is the capital G-O-D, not the little G-O-D. Hello?
Hello?
The Church of Buttercup is proud to sponsor this all-hands final battle. And you could call this the Clubhouse Apocalypse, the final countdown to the ultimate and final battle of the universe. We finally did it. It only took us 6 years of wasting time debating definitions for the sake of ESL speakers in other countries that want to try to learn English, native English, But we did it. We've exposed all the haters, all the crash outs, all the neurological disorders, the psychotics and the sociologically deranged. You can call them sociopaths. We've done it. We've recorded. We've garbaged out. We actually filled the garbage dump up. That's actually why we're doing the final battle, because there's no more place to put any more garbage, it turns out. Recycling is a big issue. And without recycling, we actually wouldn't even be able to do this right now, because we ran out of landfill space years ago, technically. But through the magic and the miracle of the internet, we've been able to store an infinite amount of garbage, fucking thousands of trillions of worth of garbage. Anyways, in the Church of Buttercup, we have one rule. You can't bring any drama in to the church from any other past rooms. This is the final room, and it's a new room. Therefore, that's the only rule. And if you are not here now, but you will be here later in this room, and you don't know that rule, well, we might be kind and let you know about that rule. But that's the inside joke room rule. You can't bring up any old drama in the final battle. You have to be in the now. The now is all important, just like all when you realize that everything is God. Everything. And when you create a room called Prove to Me God Exists, but you won't let anybody actually speak for more than 3 sentences, that's an ADHD problem with your brain. And you could call it a disability, and you should be compensated for that disability by your government and your fellow taxpayers. And I'm so happy you've chosen this room as your final room of the day, the final battle between the Muslims and all the other world religions that they deface and destroy at every opportunity they get. Those beautiful Buddha statues in the meditative mountains of the Afghani Kush. How could they do that? Destroy that beautiful artwork in the name of God. But in some ways, it's kind of cooler now that the Buddhas don't have any heads. It's almost like through destruction, you get to see the truth of the earth and the God. This is the Church of Buttercup. Okay, I'm going to take a break here because my monologue has been going on for quite a while. Sorry, great contribution, Narjas, but I can't do any copyrighted music longer than 1 to 2 seconds. So unfortunately, we're going to have to forego that beautiful Queen Rhapsody by that Persian F word. And that's that movie that came out. It's a good movie. The thing is, they never talk about Freddie Mercury's like best blowjobs. Like Freddie Mercury has a powerful voice, but in terms of like inhaling a cock,
with a mouth like that.
yeah, he had like. Did you ever see him in that movie? He's got like those teeth that protrude, darling.
Protruding.
My teeth protrude. That's how you can always tell someone can do a good blowjob, because that means the teeth are angled right for the job.
Correct. They do not interfere with the process.
Well, I'd like to prove that I can clear out a room by the power of my wand. Let me demonstrate for you a little song. I want to dedicate this to the final battle. Take the deepest breath of the day and hold it for 10 seconds. 10, not 11, 10, not 9. The beautiful sun is setting. Here we go. The day of the word is Zionist. The next day of the word is occupation. The next magic day of the word is genocide. The next day, the word is neocolonialism. Next day, the word is checkpoints or illegal checkpoints. This is the glossary to a Free Palestine instruction manual, by the way, with flute accompaniment. Next day, the word is white structural racism. Just remember that all communication is conditioning. And all communication is suggestion. And all communication is political. And all communication is hypnosis. You have all been hypnotized in the Church of Buttercup. This is your deconditioning, reconditioning hypnosis. Hello? I also want to thank the Anon in the audience. Those are both my accounts. If Noor Bandor is wondering which Anon is mine, they're both mine. Hello? This last song will be called... What's a good woke leftist term that I'm forgetting? Anybody? Narjay Zabi? What can we add to the glossary? CRT, BLM, DEI, LGBTQ.
TDS, sensual activity.
No, you failed to understand my question, Abby.
I'm watching TV, sorry.
Yeah, some people are asking me, why do I have the Liberian flag tattooed on my chest? That's because I'm Liberian, obviously. And I was born in Liberia. I'm actually an African American.
Flag of the 12 stars.
This is the marching song to the final battle. The one room that will settle all rooms and all debates across the Clown House universe for all time. Forever and ever. Next time you go into a Barth room and a Daniel Nero room or a Narge's room, just know that these debates have already been settled.
I got no rules.
Hello?
Hello?
We are now invoking Jehovah to come and give us the war engine for the final victory. But we need to use the secret key activator and strike the master chord to draw. Draw the flaming sword. Oh, McZed is here. He's here to represent the Jewish army, the army of God.
I'm loving this flute.
Thank you. McZed, how do you say army of God in Hebrew?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know that secret magic Hebrew word?
Yeah.
I don't know what the word for armies would be.
I read it in a Kabbalah book one time. There's a definite Hebrew one or two words that describe the army of God in Hebrew.
Isn't that like what Sahal stands for?
Sahal?
Sahal. Early Zionist youth movement.
I think I'll put it in the chat. It's Sava. Let me see.
Well, maybe I'm right.
Oh, it's in
It's
the
a short
chat.
word. It's the short word for Mossad.
No, that means Mossad means supreme intelligence.
Word, meaning like army that they apply to other
Easy.
places.
Well, the Saudi. The Saudi is first. What? Because
Right,
you're
reading them
a
say-
Sadiq. A Sadiq, and then there's Sada.
Rabbano Shalom. Judy, we got Judy in the audience. Judy loves. Oh, Judy left.
Oh, Jordan love. She thinks it's the Church of Buttercup, bro. She's Buttercup's friend.
I love how Buttercup always says, Judy is like my best friend. I've known Judy my whole life for 25 years. And anyways, this is the final battle, Migzad.
Army of God.
Rabbano Shalom, what?
What's your question about an army of God?
What's the Hebrew translation? Army of God.
Well, I don't know.
Well, Rabbano Shalom, you'll never be a soldier with that attitude in the army of God. We need...
I'm not a soldier.
I know, you're a priest. That's okay. The priest also serves in the army. I don't know if you know that. Rabbano Shalom.
Do you know how the priest serves in the army?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you?
Yes, there's special prayers they give.
What's the special prayer?
It mostly tells people to go home if they're scared.
Go home to a clubhouse?
No. Like, I think the specific
instructions are, if you got married in the past year, if you recently purchased a house, or if you invested in a property, go back to tend to your possessions so that your distraction will not distract the rest of the army.
That would be like every one of us. It sounds like that song, take a shower, shine your shoes, you got nothing, no time for blues, Yeah.
Well, controlling the fear and the confidence of an army is part of maintaining an army.
Only one click, multiple accounts interact at the same time, instantly boosting likes and followers. When a video goes viral,
okay.
probably a hidden
Except for the people that
because
stay.
in China, people take old smartphones and remove everything except the boards. Then they put these phones into
Well,
a
it's
special
also
case and
a bit
plug
of
them
a
into
peer
power.
pressure
So
thing.
they can control
People
all
can
of them together
leave.
with the software.
There's
They
a
one
list
click,
of explanations why a
multiple
person
accounts
would
interact at the
leave,
same time,
but then also
instantly
you're
boosting likes and
abandoning
followers.
your
When a
brothers in
video
arms
goes viral
who will be going out there to fight. So it's a bit of a game theory thing, but everyone by the end of it commits to not running away.
It's like Hotel California.
Yes, and there were 2 soldiers who were appointed to stand in the back of the armies carrying 2 axes to kill anyone that tried to desert.
What, with like ice cream sundaes?
No, they would behead them.
Why the bloody prayer though? Like what purpose does a prayer serve?
To fortify the troops, that only those who are committed to go out and fight go out. But even with that happening, people still get scared once the fighting starts. And people abandon the line, especially with that style of warfare, with like phalanxes and siege warfare. A single break could cost everyone their lives. Which is why you have the 2 guys pointed at the backs to tell everyone, if you run away, we're going to have to kill you because you're risking the life of everyone.
Yeah.
And that, that's also why court-martials exist with their own justice system, and going AWOL is a criminal offense. Militaries are old structures.
Yeah, when I was in the army, this guy left the base and then he got arrested at the airport and he came back in chains. And I said, "Where did you go? Why did you leave?" And he says, "This sucks. I just wanted to go home." I was like, "So you just called? How did you leave?" He's like, "I called a taxi and I left." I was like, "You called a taxi and went to the airport and just tried to leave?" He goes, "Yeah." And they brought him back in chains.
Knucklehead.
So, McZed, Judy and Buttercup and Emrose yesterday kept saying, we should all be terrified because if they can do this to the Palestinians, they can do this to us. And they keep repeating the Zionists, of course. And so Emrose keeps screaming.
You're saying if Israel can treat Palestinians in the way that they do, what stops them from treating New Yorkers in the way that they treat the Palestinians?
I think she may mean humanity, the global community.
Humanity, like which parts of humanity? Like the Russians, the Japanese,
the all
Indians,
the all humanity. But
I guess the simple sort of klutz answer to her question is Israel seems to only be targeting the people that geographically affect their sense of security, which doesn't seem to be anybody on the face of the earth other than the Palestinians and maybe Iran.
So they keep repeating a mantra, which is, this is not a religious war. And it's my belief
Okay.
they have to keep repeating that mantra because
Does it matter if it is or is not a religious war? I don't even understand what's a contest there. Who cares?
Because it's a confirmation bias of their atheism.
Who exactly is grading you on whether you labeled it a religious war correctly or incorrectly? Who really cares?
It is an important distinction for them, and there's a reason why they keep repeating it. Because they're atheists.
What does that matter?
It makes a significant difference to their world, theory. This is a definitive, statement over and over again that Buttercup and Emrose keep making, which is this is not a religious war. They have to keep repeating it, and there's an important, framing that is happening there, where they're claiming that there is no religious context to this dispute. And to me, it's foolish and really shows how little of an understanding they have of human behavior and what motivates an Islamic jihadist to mercilessly kill. Because I've seen the videos from October 7th, and these are hardened Islamic extremists, fundamentalists, militants, and they can't see how these people most absolutely utilized their culture and faith and etc. to commit the horrific acts and barbarism that they did. I think they're pirates. And to Judy and to Buttercup and to Emrose, these are not pirates. These are reactionaries to an oppressive Zionist, white structural racist, neo-colonialist, Zionist occupation of terrorism, and they view the IDF as the terrorists, and they view the freedom fighters of the Palestinian people, aka the pirate militant Islamic terrorists, as the freedom. So there's an important reason why they keep saying it's not a religious war, because that doesn't meet their definitions or their frame or their vision. And so they can't accurately describe reality. And
I think they don't want to classify it as a religious war because the Jews would win in that fight.
When you've got terrorists, a video.
Other religions as well.
I'm interested in hearing Kayla's.
If someone wanted to throw down religious debate as to whether the Muslims should occupy the land of Israel, or if Judaism and the religion of the Jews should occupy the land of Israel, the argument for the Jews are stronger.
Exactly, but there are other religions too in the region. There are Christians. There are all kinds of
Sure, I grant you the argument that is the strongest is the one that pluralistically allows for all of the religions of the earth to function there, specifically the ones that have a sacred site in the land of Israel. But the religious argument, if anyone concedes that it's a religious war, that the Islamic religious position is to wage jihad against Israel because of the occupied territories, which are by right property of the Islamic caliphate or communities, that religious argument is not as strong and not as compelling as the Jewish religious argument of their commandment from God to live in only that land, them and them alone, and to usher in the Messianic age.
Yeah, exactly. That's not a.
They don't. That's not.
I'm just saying that's true. If you make it a religious argument,
they don't want it to be a religious argument because
they lose.
Because they and here's my optimism. Okay, follow me. They still want there to be something redeemable about Jews and Judaism. That's why they don't want it to be a religious war. That's why they can't have Zionism be connected to Judaism, because they actually are still tribal in the way that they are fighting against. They still love us, but they think there's still something redeemable. And they're standing with people that hate us and want to kill us because they can't tell the difference.
What? I don't understand. How does
I
that
don't know
track?
at the last part. I can't.
They can't tell the difference between people who are saving Judaism and people who want to harm it.
I don't know.
No, I think they can tell that the Muslims or the Palestinians aren't engaged in a righteous mission to preserve Judaism. They know that. Their concern is that Judaism, in order to defend itself, is taking dark turns that will corrupt it and also make it unsafe in the world at large.
Yeah.